welcome back to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I'm Rebecca Miller along with Otto Lose, and we are returning to Talk of the Town with Kristina Lou. Kristina, of course, who is our radio show producer and the director of services, the director of senior citizen affairs at Project Independence, where Kristina and I have worked together for well over 10 years. I mean, yeah, how long now?
I feel like we lost track.
I think we lost track. But that was, of course, Kristina also brings these guests every week, and everyone knows that we have gone international. That was a few weeks ago, and we had our guest in from zooming in from Germany. That was a great guest. But today's guest was terrific, and really so great to learn about these services and programs that are out there. It's so I mean, it's unique, yet it's been around since, what did he say, 1931, and I love to hear that they're moving forward now with Alexa and all kinds of devices. So I know,
and that's what I just every week, and not to toot our horns or anything, but it's just the information that we're able to distribute on this show is so beneficial, because I think people kind of have heard about, everyone has heard about the Library of Congress, but might not know necessarily this program. And I just love when things, are connected, because I was familiar with talking books because a few years back I was at a conference where that was one of the speakers. But in recent times, we had on the radio show Helen Keller Services for the Blind, and they brought up the Library of Congress and the talking books. So that's why I wanted to kind of reacclimate myself to all the information. And I just think it's such a wonderful service, and it just really is such a great kind of collaboration with Project Independence, because we're always striving to have a little something for everyone. And I think they realize that, someone might be comfortable listening or doing Braille, so to give those kind of options to people who, have lost, their sight or are losing their sight, I think it's just, it's such a wonderful, wonderful service. So.
Right. And even things that we don't think about, like people who have difficulty using their hands and
right.
pages and, all these different reasons that one might need this service. So,
and I think it's important, I like that I learned, one of our, we learn our little golden nuggets and our little tidbits every show. And the fact that our Project Independent social workers and nurses can facilitate in this eligibility process, for a senior in our case is wonderful. So I'm excited to pass that information along to our team.
I have a question for both of you. I received an email this morning, and I'm going to read it to you, all right?
Okay.
It says it is a perfect Totient, T-O-T-I-E-N-T number, the smallest such number to be neither a power of 3 nor thrice a prime. Since this number is the product of the first 3 Fermat primes, the regular dash gone is constructible. Now, what number is that?
Wait, say the last sentence again. Are you kidding?
I am kidding. The number is 255, which happens to be how many days there are to Kristina's birthday.
Wow.
And I have no idea what I read to you as far as the other part goes. But
I
that's
thought
what
you were
says.
Just unleashing some knowledge on us over there, Otto. And I know
no
John
idea.
Ryan is smiling down on us right now.
If you want to read this, you can read it.
I just always go with 3, but yeah, okay, that works.
You know all that
5
stuff?
days to Kristina Lou's birthday. Woo!
You know what that is? A Totient number?
I don't.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but you know what? It's just something new that, that's what I miss, when John would give us these tidbits, we would learn.
Well, I thought I would just throw that in.
Well, thank you for
we
that.
don't really need to know that answer because we have this. I was holding up a calculator for those who were listening to the radio show.
There's probably people who do know what I was talking about, but I'm not one of them.
That's right. Call 311, if you do. Right?
869-6311. And ask for Vinny, who is the commissioner for 311. He loves questions like that.
Who was that?
Vinny.
Okay.
The call center. Well, anyway, back to our first, little recap. So I just want everyone to know, if you are interested in that, obviously, as we keep saying, you can call 311 or 516-869-6311. But the direct phone number to the Library of Congress Talking Books is 888-657-7323. So you could do that as well. Great show. I love it. I think it's such a great resource now that we could give to all of our members. And Otto, yes, I'm definitely going to try and fit a little blurb in our next issue of the Pioneer newsletter as well, because I think it's certainly beneficial.
Well, you
for
got
everyone.
Helen Keller also. That was very good too.
Absolutely. So that's what, and Beck, you brought it up too. It's, there really are such wonderful programs and organizations out there that are available to help. And I think, what we've been in this field for a long time, and there are these wonderful things, but it's actually connecting to them that's the more
Right.
difficult kind of part. And,
Yes.
that's where we come in, and having this platform on the radio where we could give this information out to. Listen, it's clearly beneficial to everyone, not just seniors.
You know
So
what's
it's just,
important? It's not just for people who have vision problems. It could be other
right.
disabilities, like you can't hold a book because of
Yeah.
arthritis, or your mobility part of it. There's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, so it's great information. And next week we have another jam-packed show. We have on Caroline Palladino, who is from MedMinder, which is kind of an interesting new technology. That is this device. It's very cool. I watched the YouTube video on it, and it's ways to remind people to take their pills. So it's certainly, I'm excited to learn information about that and just add that to our toolbox. We're just gathering all these great little resources. So that is next week. And then coming up in August, I just like to remind people we are going to have on a dermapathologist from Northwell Health, Dr. Mary Parisi, who is going to talk about skin health, which is certainly important, year round, but especially in the summer and this very hot weather that we have going on. It's a very timely topic. And then we have on August 12th, we have a repeated show. August 19th, we have on two different people from PSEG, because we're going to be talking about the first half of their interview will be on electric utility scams, and the second half will be on the programs that PSEG offers for different assistance programs. So I'm excited to learn about that as well. And to wrap out August, we have the Alzheimer's Association is going to do healthy living for your brain and body.
That's a great one. I actually saw that in a workshop at the Nassau County Aging, I guess,
the conference that
the
you went to.
conference that they had at the Marriott, and it was really wonderful. I mean, there really are things to do, and a lot of really great hints, and it's never too soon to start with what they're going to be telling us.
Absolutely, and I like that kind of spin on it. They've done, the Alzheimer's Association does wonderful programs with us all the time, and this was one they did recently for our seniors, and they just give you such information, and as we all know, we're all about planning and proactive kind of measures that we can take. So that is it. So we have quite the mix of shows coming up, which I'm excited to learn about. And then in September we're approaching that 11th anniversary.
I can't believe it.
Which is it's a long time, but an exciting time, and just thinking about all these wonderful guests that we've had on the show, it's wonderful. So, and I want everyone to go to the WCWP Studios YouTube page or the Project Independence website, because I highly recommend you watch last week's show. Is up there now, and it's on managing anxiety and stress. I had my whole family listen to it. It's been fully distributed. That YouTube link has been sent all around because Dr. McKelvey gave such wonderful tips and tricks.
She is great. She was such a wonderful guest too.
It was just, and I was talking about it all weekend too, as I said, my friends and my family, and when I went to the grocery store, I was practicing my mindfulness. So I really encourage everyone to check that out, because I think we could all do a little managing of anxiety and stress nowadays. So that is up for everyone to watch. So check that out.
Great show. Great stuff. Great
Absolutely.
show. And it's actually 11/11 right now, and we're going toward our 11th anniversary. I'm just putting that out. That's
Wow.
your tertiary number that you're looking for.
That's right. Beck's trying to get back to figure out the Otto's.
I know, like, of course, that's in my head. But so what is going on? You know, we have been experiencing this incredible heat wave. So, of course, you know, Project Independence, we're all about, you know, helping seniors age in place. So, you know, ideally though, Kristina, you know, as you know, if you don't have to go out, just stay home. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the town does offer a lot of cooling centers, which
Yeah,
is
and that's a
great.
great, yeah, we have the cooling centers. I don't know, you know, if you're listening to this in real time, obviously.
Right.
The cooling centers are open through today. I'm not sure if the weekend, I know it's like a staffing issue a lot of times, so we haven't gotten that information as of yet, but it is currently open, and there is one at Yes We Can Community Center from 10 to 6 p.m. This is today, Friday, July 22nd, and at Clinton G. Martin Park from 10 to 6 p.m. as well. They are open, and the pools are extending their times until 9 p.m. So that's the Clinton G. Martin Park pool and the Manor Haven Beach Park pool are extended.
We just touch on that, the cooling center idea, which is great because it takes care of you during the day. Now, would they be able to get a ride to the cooling center? You know, how do they get there? Kind of question.
You know, look, hopefully they're not coming out. Like for the seniors,
Right.
if they need a ride to a cooling center and they're a town resident and they're 60 and over, they should just call 311. And, you know, we offer, you know, we have the taxi transportation. So at CGM, at least we, you know, have a nurse here too. So definitely, you know, call 311. If you need to get to a cooling center, you know, I don't think that it makes sense to leave your home to, you know, to come to a cooling center. And if you don't have, you know, air in the home, you know, please call 311, and somebody at one of, you know, a social worker or nurse could probably help you to figure out what's going on. And just call 516-869-6311 if you're 60 and over in this town and you have any concerns with this heat, and we will certainly do our best to accommodate you in any way to get you into, you know, a safe place.
know,
Again, like Kristina said, today is July 22nd. So if you're listening to this archived and it's
Right.
December, you can disgard everything. And
right, we'll have warming centers then.
Yeah.
Different set of problems.
There are people that, I don't know what the reason is. It's financial in a lot of cases. They may have air conditioning, but some of the older generation maybe grew up in tough times, whatever, and they just have a mentality that they don't want to use the air conditioner. I'm going to request anybody who's listening who's in that category, think twice about that. This is not the day to be saving money if you can at all afford it. Put the air conditioner on. And the other part of it is, like, if you do go to a cooling center in the daytime, you still have to go home and you do have to sleep. And I remember growing up without air conditioning and wearing a handkerchief around my neck so the sweat wouldn't run all the way down. It would stop here, and maybe have a fan. And it's not a great way to sleep.
You know, Otto, another thing is, if you do drive and you are able to come to a cooling center, maybe think about going to a mall. You know, they have a lot of areas where you can sit there, you can shop, you can have a little snack, you can, you know, spend time browsing, or you can rest in, you know, any of the cafeterias or the restaurants, and also get, you know, exercise. If you come to a town cooling center, we do have water available. We have a water fountain, but you're just coming in to kind of sit and cool off. There's not a lot of other things to do, you know. So if you go to a mall, or even your library is a good idea too. So there are places.
Yeah, you would have to bring a chair, but supermarkets are like Alaska now.
Yes.
But you have to bring a chair then.
I think about that all the time. You know, when I was,
but they are cold.
When I was growing up, we grew up in a very old house. So it had old windows. So we had like AC, I think, in one room. But so it was always hot. So we were always coming up with like creative ways to kind of cool down. And, we were like the queen of like the supermarket. It makes me laugh because it was so close to our house. So we would just like walk around, the supermarket, and we would set up, we had fans all in the house, and we would just have a bucket of ice water, and we would put it behind the fan and kind of like create our own AC system going on. And listen, it worked, I must say. And I want to remind people there are so many just little tips and tricks that obviously can assist you. Number one, I'm always preaching to my family of all ages is the importance of, staying hydrated, especially during these kind of times. I've seen firsthand, once again, all at different ages, what it can do to people when you're dehydrated. And I know as we get older, the issue of the bathrooms and whatnot come into play, but it's so important to really stay well hydrated. And after the break, we'll have more tips.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. You're listening to Project Independence in You, Talk of the Town with Otto Los, Kristina Lou, and myself, Rebecca Miller. We will be right back.
So I get this call from my grandma, and she's like,
"What's a podcast, and how much does it cost?"
So I tell her, podcasts are like radio shows, but you can download them on any device and listen to them anywhere at any time, and they're free. And then she says,
"I see, but where can you find good ones?"
And I'm like, go to wcwp.org/podcast and check out the lineup of original shows, or download any podcast app on your phone or tablet and search for LIU Studios. And she's all like,
"Oh, that sounds easy."
And then she asked me what an app is.
LIU Studios podcasts, available on any podcast app. Those little button things on your phone screen. Just ask your grandkids.
And welcome back to Project Independence in You on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We are in our Talk of the Town segment with Otto Los and Kristina Lou, and just talking about all things water. So, Otto, you had a little update, little tip.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. Well, maybe I didn't. But anyhow, when I do play golf, which I did play Wednesday, and it was hot, but we went out early and we're not walking, we're in a cart. And I bring bottles of frozen water in a small little cooler. And the frozen water is great because even in the hottest of weather, when you take it out, it stays cold. And it seems like it reproduces itself, and the water lasts a long time. So if you put some water in the freezer, which actually I'm going to do after the show, in a bottle, obviously, it really, it's cold all the time, and it's pretty good.
That was my dad. That's my dad's go-to specialty. On vacation, you open the freezer, and there's always just all kinds of, frozen water bottles in there. So that's his go-to trick as well, Otto. So
yeah, well,
I just got a text from one of our deputies, Paul Ewell, who is listening to the show, and said to let us know the town just extended the cooling centers through Sunday. So from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Yes We Can and Clinton G. Martin Park, you could still go there for a cooling center through Sunday. So that is hot off the press, July 22nd. That is today. So just want people to be aware of that. And of course, you could always call 311 to get
Right,
more
definitely, yeah.
on that as well. So just some additional little tips to kind of stay cool during these hot weathers is to certainly wear clothing that is light colored, lightweight, loose, and absorbent. Cotton's a good choice. Eat fruits and vegetables to kind of replenish all the nutrients that you're sweating out. If you do have to go outside, wear a wide-brimmed hat. Take cool baths and shower once or twice a day. Limit your caffeine and alcohol drinks. And just really how it's very important to check the heat index just to kind of alert you. I do, that's kind of one of the first things I do in the morning is just to get an idea. And obviously, if you have a smartphone, it makes it easy because you'll have, a weather thing with all different indexes telling you about air quality and all kinds of different things. It may or may not be correct all the time, as we all know, but it gives
Kristina, it also lets us know how we can do our hair. So if it's
valid,
humid out, I'm not going to fuss too much with my hair. I'm going to put it right up.
Very true. So
that
definitely
depends on who you are.
Of course.
Great. So that is just a little tip to stay kind of cool during these this heat wave that we've been experiencing. So always call 311 or 516-869-6311 for information on that. I also just want to share just a totally random kind of tidbit, and then we'll get back into this. But we always like to kind of spread and share positive news, especially in time when things seem a little negative. So I received a phone call from my husband, I guess it was like 2 or 3 days ago. So he calls me and he said, "You won't believe what happened to me. I was in line at Starbucks." And if anyone knows Jay, like, well, this build up to the story will take forever instead of like just getting to the point. So that's so I'm like, all right, like, where's the story going? But the gist of the story was that the person, he pulled up to the Starbucks window to pay, and the woman said, "The car in front of you, it's your lucky day, paid for you." She said it's all part of kind of this pay it forward surprise thing that people are doing in drive-throughs for the person behind them. And I thought it was just such a lovely thing. So it became kind of a comical thing because Jay was like, "Oh my God," he takes it very serious. He needs to pay it forward, right? So he immediately, and I was just like, "You can like give it some time, like let it settle." And he's like, no, immediately he wants to pay for the person behind him. But the Starbucks woman who knows Jay very well because he goes often was like, "I'm sorry, the person behind you paid with a mobile order, so they're paid for already." So my poor husband was really just trying to pay it forward, was not succeeding. And then he went to Ralph's. He was trying to.
It was great. Did he go to McDonald's or drive?
He was really trying that day to pay it forward. My poor husband. So the next day he gave it a go again, and he was able to luckily pass it forward. But I just thought it was such a nice little gesture, and it's I love that, the person's not even waiting for you to say thank you. It's like they kind of just do it and then disappear, into the daylight. So just thought it was such a nice thing. You hear these stories, and it was nice that it happened to
I have a question for you, right? He said the person behind him paid with a mobile order.
Yes.
How many apps do you have that you're used to order stuff? Like you have to use the app of the store, whether it be Smoothies or Jersey Mike's or whoever, pick a name. I'm just curious.
I don't have that many. I do use Starbucks a lot. Starbucks, some sponsor us over here. I do use that app often. But everything else, I think like as in the food thing, I think I kind of just go to the website order. I don't think I actually have anything else particularly downloaded. I'm thinking. I think I just use it like on the website. I'll do an online ordering kind of thing, but it's a convenience.
Do you have any?
I mean, I have it. I have a lot of apps that I could do that with, but I never do it. I like to, go in. I mean, I have apps that I pay for when I get there, but I don't usually order ahead on my app. Yeah.
Right.
I usually go into the store to do that.
It depends.
But not
it does offer a level of convenience.
Yeah.
A lot of times, especially if you're like in a hurry, my husband and I will do like Moe's often, so you just go run in, you pick it up, and boom, like it's done. But I'm also.
Pardon me?
What about you?
Well, like we do a lot of restaurant stuff, which I do sometimes on the phone, but I usually go to their website or I'll do it on the computer.
Yes.
Order on the computer. I'll order from a restaurant, takeout. I do, and we're not getting paid for commercials here, but Jersey Mike's.
But we're open.
There's a smoothie place that I may use, but I'd say beyond that, not really. I use those because they work great when you want to just order a sandwich for lunch.
Yeah.
And you don't want to pay $10 service fee to have the sandwich delivered.
Well, it's so
place
true.
Is 2 blocks from your house.
Because, and that's why I encourage people to, listen, I'm always with my family, and it's always a big order, right? So it's never an easy process, and everyone's got their requests. So even going to a deli, is time consuming. And I think this is like an important kind of tip for people, especially if you're not trying to spend a lot of time in a place, whatever your feeling might be. A lot of these places do offer, the fact that you can call it in and then just pick it up. It's ready to go. it's like a level of convenience. So I think it's important to check, your local kind of place that you might be ordering from, because there certainly is all different kinds of quick little options you're able to do. So
Well, if I'm ordering for a larger number of people and I'm going into the place, I will make sure I either write it or type it up ahead of time. Tell them
Yep.
Christina, ham
Yep.
and Swiss lettuce,
I'm
no
with you, Otto.
mayo, whatever.
Otto, you're more and more like me. Each show I just really realize that we are
I'd hand
spirit
it to them
animals.
and they're happy to get it. And then you don't have to talk to them anymore. Because most of the time, did you say ham and Munster? No, ham and Swiss. With lettuce? No. Mustard. Oh, okay. And you got to go through this whole
I
dialogue.
know it's these are the things we have to deal with.
No knock on the people who do this, but some of them do not.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of complicated orders now, so I feel for them.
Mindful of what they're doing,
Absolutely. So,
You gotta wait for your right deli person, because that's what I'll do sometimes if I have a bigger order and they use the number, and I'll let someone go ahead of me till they get the right person.
That's right. These are little tips and tricks, guys, you could use to make your life a little easier. We're trying to avoid stress.
The complications of life.
And then on another note, I've been waiting to share with you guys, because I love, I've been getting a lot of phone calls, and I'm constantly getting different emails from LinkedIn about people who want to be on the show. So it's really a wonderful thing. And I had to laugh because on Instagram, I get a message from a young girl. I recognize the name, and it was someone I had before I landed at Project Independence. When I was just in social work school, getting my master's, I was interning at Hempstead High School. And there was this young girl who I really had a wonderful relationship with. And she sent me a message, and she lives in Hempstead now. And she said, Miss Kristina, how are you? I saw you on television. And I was like, what? I wasn't sure. I was like, refresh my memory. Where was I? So she saw this show somehow was on her TV in Hempstead, and she was watching it, she said, with her family. So we're outside of North Hempstead. So I love the outside of North Hempstead. People who are able to pick up the show. So
I've actually heard that from a couple of people as well who do not live in North Hempstead.
No,
and so
far, right?
It's I guess the airwaves do not have.
I think that we just have such a huge demand, guys. I mean, listen, they said put them on, but it was just it was so nice to kind of reconnect with her, because she saw me on television.
So I was at Fun Day Monday, and I was talking to our commissioner, Kimberly, and I forget, one of the seniors came up to me, and she's like, oh, I see the show. It's wonderful. And they're like, and Otto's so good. I said, I know, he's great. He, I said, he always has such significant things to say, and I love his perspective. And they're like, yeah, and we love how you reel him back in, though. And I said, I do that? I didn't even know I did.
Yeah, well, we do. I do interrupt occasionally. I know that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So apologies if I do that, but also I guess
Well, I think we all interrupt once in a while.
That's right, because we always have such riveting conversation and topics, so we all just can't wait to discuss it.
Exactly, we can't wait.
It's so nice to hear. I just,
yeah,
it really is just wonderful when people reach out and share that they enjoy the show. And I love when Rebecca and I will be at an advisory and be like, oh my God, we love watching you guys. It's like, thank you. Everybody likes to hear that now and again. So I just wanted to tell people, if you ever miss an episode or want to catch, or you want to binge watch, the Project Independence and You radio show, you can go to the WCW
it's all up there.
Studios page.
You can binge watch.
We're up to season 11.
You want to just keep it going, you just can watch. But there's really such great information. And if you go to the Project Independence website, in the search bar, you're able to type in a keyword and see if there's a show. And if you can't find it, please just give us a call, and I will be more than happy to call you back and tell you if we've covered that topic. And if we haven't, I'll definitely try and find someone to do that.
And also, frankly, if you have a topic or somebody who can talk about a topic that you would like to have considered for the show, call you, contact you.
Yeah, and that's what, some of our best shows have been these collaborations or people suggesting it. Otto, I always say you give me, a research project trying to track someone down to cover a particular topic. So it becomes my mission. But it's really great. And I want, we want to give people what they want to hear. So if there's something that you're interested in covering or would like help with, certainly give me a buzz.
And we had our youngest guest on last week, right?
That's right. We had on our wonderful little kind of entrepreneur, Gianna Pelesci, who is the founder of Pink Pom Pom, which is a wonderful organization to help fight breast cancer. And there are these adorable little care packages she makes. And it was all because of her mother, is a doctor. And she would hear the conversations her mother would have with people who were struggling
Breast
with
surgeon,
breast
right?
cancer.
Yeah.
And it was just a great segment. So listen, we cover it all over here, guys. So
Yeah.
definitely check it out. But I would be remiss if I did not mention, because we are in summer, and summer in the town of North Hempstead means Fun Day Monday. And Beck, we have a sponsor, right, for the health fair?
We certainly do. We have Northwell Health is our primary sponsor yet again. Every year they're terrific. They've gave us a very, very generous amount of money to help us along, and we are doing because of that generous sponsorship, we're doing some really terrific things. We had a quite a Monday. We do a lot of prep work in the morning. So everybody gets to the beach at 7 a.m. and, we set up our pickleball tents and the pavilion where the line dancer, and then we had Dance Aloha, and then we had a band. It was just a lot of prep work. And of course, if you remember Monday, it started to rain, then it stopped, and we're like, should we call it? Should we not call it? It just kept happening. And then we're following the weather, and the weather's saying it's going to stop at, by 10 o'clock, you're good to go. So we started pickleball. So it just miraculously, it did. The rain stopped. However, we had set up our band up on the boardwalk so that there was a lot more space, because we had a line dancer, and then we had Dance Aloha, and they bring all the, luau skirts and the leis, and everybody's dancing around. So we put them up, and all of a sudden, we got a phone call that I guess it was New Hyde Park got hit with this torrential storm. And all of a sudden, we looked up at the boardwalk, and the tents that were covering the band start lifting up off the ground, and they're all weighted. So we all run over and we break down the tents, and everybody loads the car. It was like so exciting. And of course, really nothing happened. So it was just a little bit of wind, and we But it was a great day. There's so much going on now. I mean, on last Monday alone, we have pickleball instruction, then we have open pickleball courts. Then we have a fitness class, and started out with a walking tour of the park. They went along the path. And then we had line dancing and Dance Aloha and Simpatico. So there was a lot going on at Monday. Plus we have the cafe that's open again.
I know, and that's what I have to give a shout out to the community service team. And of course, Beck's on the DOSA team that's so involved in Fun Day Monday, because it's like every week, every Monday is like a festival, and there's so much going on. And I want to remind people, you had mentioned the walking tour, and I think the walking tour is such a great thing for people to do, because on top of you're just walking, the tour guide gives you a whole history of the area. And Gia from Community Services had let us know that people were so interested in the tour that there was a whole presentation he gave after in the pavilion. Everyone sat around, and he gave kind of a whole history of the park and some little tidbits of things. So if you missed last week's, you can sign up for the August 8th. It's from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And it's at North Hempstead Beach Park. The walking tour is, 1 hour. Obviously, call 311 or 516-869-6311 to register for that. So I really recommend people do that. And this Monday, Beck, is the health fair.
When we come back, we will talk more about the Fun Day Monday health fair. And you're listening to Project Independence and You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and wcwp.org, and we will be right back.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
And welcome back to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. I am Rebecca Miller, part of this incredible hosting team here today. We have Otto Los and, of course, Kristina Lou, and we are at our final segment of Talk of the Town. So I know before break, Kristina, you had
Yes, we
mentioned
were talking about the health fair, which is Monday, July 25th. God willing, the weather is nice that day, and but if not, it will be moved to July 28th, which is that Thursday. So, Beck, I know the health fair everyone's been working on. This is one of the most popular events for Fun Day Monday because there's so many wonderful organizations. So let's give us a glimpse. Who's going to be there? What kind of topics?
So it's the real deal, Kristina. As you know, it's that we have a huge tent, a lot of tables. We have a lot of agencies coming. We have Acoustic Hearing Center, Agewell, of course, Northwell and North Shore, because they still have some of those under there. Parker Jewish Institute. We have the Port Washington Police Department, Long Island Center for Independent Living. We have a very long list. I'm showing you the list here. Everybody will receive something. We have Nassau County Clerk, and of course, we'll have a Project Independence table, along with the Supervisor's Office will also be there, and the Office of Sustainability for North Hempstead, the Town Clerk, 311 Call Center, Receiver of Taxes, St. Francis Hospital, Senate, we have Senator Kaplan and Comptroller DiNapoli's office and Assemblywoman Saliti and Assemblyman Ed Raw. There's so many people. I hope I haven't left anyone out, but there is a great list. Now, and of course, Nassau County Office of the Aging will be there. So come to the health fair. I don't even want to say bring a bag because people will probably be giving out bags and a lot of great resource information. In addition to the health fair, we'll still, have our daily activities. The only thing not happening Monday is we're not going to have pickleball instruction, but the pickleball courts will all be open and we'll have that all set up. We're going to have our line dancing and the fitness class, and we're going to have EJ the DJ play some music. So under Pavilion 3 is where all that stuff happens. But the tent will be in the place that has always historically been there. So we hope to see a really good turnout. It looks like it's going to be hot. There is a potential of rain. And like Kristina had said, if it does rain, we plan to reschedule for the 28th, July 28th. So, it's really been great. And
I'm going to put you both. Unfortunately, I am on vacation that day, so I will not be able to attend. But I'm putting both of you on the task of looking for potential radio guests. So gather some information and speakers for me, because that's my favorite part about these health fairs, is going around and meeting people face to face and getting that information. So I'm putting you both. That's your homework assignment. For Fun Day Monday. And I want to tell people there's transportation as well.
Always.
Free transportation. So that is still being offered. There's so many different bus stop locations. You can call 311 or 516-869-6311 to get the schedule for that. So
all the organizations that are on this show are really tools or in their toolkit, if you will, for Project Independence to offer, and it's all free. So the access to people like the National Library Service, Helen Keller, Zucker, Northwell, St. Francis, all these places there's a lot of options, and the nurses and the social workers can kind of zero in on those options that might be best for you. So you don't have to make 800 phone calls to try to figure it out. These tools are
You're so
available.
right, Otto. And
Mhm.
I, on my other hat and on my social work hat, outside of this radio show, and I, get service requests that come in through 311, and Paula and myself will look, and there's so many times that someone will kind of call in just saying like, I need help, right? I need to talk to a social worker or a nurse. So, and I always want people to know, you don't need to narrow down yourself what you might need. I think just doing that initial phone call, and as Otto said, you connect to a social worker or a nurse, and they could just break down and narrow down and offer and tell you what is available. I kept thinking, we are part of one of my favorite organizations that we're partnered with is the Rehabilitation Institute. They've been partnered with us for years, and they provide like help at home, some light services. But one of those is moving heavy objects. And, a lot of calls that we get, there's a lot of seasonal calls. So, I mean, gutter cleaning on the first floor is the number one call that I think we always get.
Hmm.
But, they're able to put an AC in your window, and then when the season's out, to take the AC out. And I think that that's just such an important thing, and that's what I was thinking about when we were talking about, getting older and heat and stuff. I mean, that's difficult. Listen, that's difficult for a young person to do, to put the AC in the window and take it out. So that's a service that is offered, so it's these little things that are available that you might not know about, that the social worker and nurse can really walk you through and connect you to do. So,
Well, let me ask you a straightforward question about things like that. Like somebody, usually two people, come to the house and they take care of the air conditioner, the gutters, the whatever, and these services are free.
free.
Typically, would would they think that they should tip these people for the
Yeah, so they
services?
don't accept tips.
They don't accept
That no,
tips.
they do not.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
also getting on the job training.
Yeah, so that's the thing, and I'd love to have. Those are some of my favorite interviews we've had on the show as well, because the Rehabilitation Institute is, as Beck had said, it's a job training program. So on top of providing these services for free for seniors, they're learning with and a lot of times they get a job in the outside world, and that's the goal of their program. So they always come with a job supervisor, comes to each house. It's a program, as I said, we've done for many, many years. And the social worker is very involved in it. I, oversee the surveys and the process, so we're very connected. And it's really a win-win on both sides. That's kind of why it's one of my favorite programs, because
It's such a true partnership,
it
Kate.
is.
You've
It's
got
just,
like
it is.
they're doing what they need to do. They need to train people to do job training, and we have these seniors who need these tasks done that are, I don't know if the word's remedial, but
There's things that you almost take for granted. If you're
like
able to do it.
I remember one time we had like years ago, someone needed a toilet bowl, that just the seat replaced, but the woman couldn't do it. So it's just such a win-win. You have these tasks that you really can't hire someone to do, and then you have this incredible organization that's training people on the job training. So it's such a great partnership.
It
Well,
is.
one
It
of the
really
ones I
is.
always liked is the changing of a light bulb. We
Yeah.
take for granted you may have to get up a little bit on a stool to reach the light bulb,
Don't
right?
do it.
Yeah.
No
No, I'm
stool.
saying
Yeah.
that this service is available, even though you think, oh my God, I don't want to call just to have a light bulb changed.
No, and it goes hand in hand with, changing the batteries in your smoke detector.
Right.
So a lot of times when someone requests, to change a light bulb, they'll do to change, that. So they'll be able to do that, at the same time. And I think these are important things, as we have all said, that you take for granted, but it's a huge part of, being independent and living in your home, if that's something you choose, so that's why this partnership is so important with Project Independence. And then, of course, we have on the flip side, Rebuilding Together Long Island is a volunteer organization that is able to provide more intensive kind of home repair things that are it's an income based program though. But once again, it's the same process. You would call 311. or 516-869-6311. You get connected to our social worker. They'll kind of assess your needs and your requests. Obviously, they're limited. We can't be doing all kinds of stuff, but they'll have that conversation with you. And, if it's outside of the scope of what kind of work they can do, they'll help connect you to another organization that will. So the bottom line is you should always call 311. But the number one request that we get for rebuilding together are grab bars and railings. So that this year has been booming, and I'm so glad that there's so many requests that have been coming in for rebuilding together, and it's so nice to see, because we had to stop things for a while because of the height of the pandemic, and these things certain jobs
Couldn't go in anyone's house, right?
Yeah, and now I'm seeing there's so many requests, and to see the surveys that come back saying, like, now I can, like, my mom can get out of the house or walk down the basement stairs without being in a precarious situation. So it's really just so important.
I didn't know that when people do these kinds of things, you send surveys out to them afterward.
Yeah, so you have to for the help at home programs, both of them, you have to fill out a survey, and this is just a way for us to kind of make sure everything's running smoothly. And it's just, for my own personal, I just love to read it because it just sees, like, the impact of what the program is doing. And in the rare occurrence anything is ever, unsatisfactory, I reach out to the organization and, we make it. But that literally, maybe I could count on one hand the times that's happened over the years. So just call 311 is the bottom line.
Call
It's good stuff.
311. Good stuff. Yeah.
It is, and I just think it's important to kind of refresh people's memory on that, because Project Independence, Beck and I can vouch for it, offers so many wonderful programs and connects you to so many different services. And the fall, we're creating new innovative things that we're excited to kind of start working on, and we're always looking at expanding, and we're a little tiny team that keeps trying to come up with new and exciting programs. And that people are interested in. As we always say, our advisory committees that I encourage you to join will be starting up in September again. That's where we get so many ideas for these things. We all kind of, we take notes in the meeting, then we talk it out and say, all right, how can we kind of tailor a program? Are a lot of people requesting this kind of service? We're hoping to start up a kind of walking program. So we're all, brainstorming about that, because that's something that keeps coming up, and we aim to please, at Project Independence.
Great facilities in the town.
Yep.
So we are, looking at some of the parks and how we can utilize them for the seniors, and of course, this pickleball mania. It's pickleball mania, okay? I'm telling you. You can't, it's just, everyone is so into it. And, it is a game that can be played, walking and also a little bit more aggressively. But, we have a pickleball instructor. He's terrific, Gary Streisand, and he's just been really key to a lot of the people that have been playing, that are, learning some tidbits, because he does really tell you how to hold it right and everything. And also for new players who are interested. So it's a very busy pickleball court at Fun Day Monday.
Have the two of you played pickleball yet?
I have not, but I'm dying to do it, and I know that the town itself, they're looking at installing pickleball courts at different locations too, because it really is something, that is being so,
Oh, they're already being installed.
Yeah. So, and it's great too, because pickleball, setting up the court isn't such an expensive task, so you're able to kind of do that, without having to, get crazy.
Now, in order to play pickleball, you have to have a pickleball racket. Is it different?
Yes.
And you need a pickleball, which is like a wiffle ball. But
it's like a wiffle ball.
But it's not. It's a pickleball.
Right. It's like a combination of tennis and, like in my head, and ping pong.
Okay.
The racket looks more like a solid racket, so it looks more like a ping pong racket, but bigger. And it's not complicated. And when Gary first came the first day of Fun Day Monday, he kind of did a little lesson for me and Gia. So we had some fun playing, and you have to understand, it is seniors and it is hot. So that's why we have it so early, the instruction, even though the courts are open. So, it's really, really important that.
Well, Beck, you're going to have to ask Gary if he ever wants to pop on our radio show and give us a quick little overview of pickleball, and I think he can give us the.
That's a great idea. I'm sure he would love to.
Yeah, because I think it'd be great just to hear.
Is the paddle wood?
I guess.
See, Otto, you're going to have to hold all these questions for when we get Gary on the show.
Because I used to play
I'm no
paddle
expert.
ball.
I played once.
I used to play paddle ball, and I played, what was the other game that was big?
Handball?
Who?
Racquetball?
No, the one where they actually had places that.
Racquetball?
Racquetball. I played
racquetball
that
in college,
and paddle ball. They were big at one time.
Yeah.
And you needed a different racket for both.
Yeah.
And paddle ball was a wooden racket.
Otto, I see a pickleball league in your future.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to actually, if time allows, I'd like to just fiddle with it and try it.
Yeah, well, that's like I said. So I think we'll have to have Gary on the show to mention that.
We don't have too much time left. So, Kristina, what else?
Yeah, so I just want to remind people, coming up on August 2nd is National Night Out. This year there's 3 different National Night Outs. And I just really encourage people to go because it's a wonderful kind of community activity that gets just to really build a neighborhood connection between the police, the government, and the neighborhood, and just to all come together and be unified, right? That's what that's the goal all the time. So there's going to be 3 different events, which is really exciting. There's going to be one at Bunkie Reed Park. So there's going to be an assembly for the parade will be there. The Salvation Army Westbury Corps Community Center that is doing the parade, and that starts at 5 p.m. And there's a whole bunch of different vendors that will be there and kind of presentations. So that's at Westbury. Then there's also one in Manhasset Valley Park, which is in Manhasset, and that starts at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then Alvin Petrus Park has a National Night Out from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Now, could I just ask, like, National Night Out, all right? Looking at it from a little higher level, what's the deal behind it? Like, my understanding is it's to encourage relationships between community and police. Is that kind of the gist of it?
Yeah, I think it's just bringing all the players and the government, officials as well. I think, a lot of times, as we've seen, there can be different divisions and people being weary of there could be a lot of things, so this is really, it's a neighborhood event to kind of bring everyone together. And I just think it's important. I just want to clarify. So the Manhasset one is at Whitney Pond Park. So that's Community Drive and Community Drive East in Manhasset. And that starts at 3 p.m. The Alvin Petrus Park one starts at 4 p.m. And the Martin Bunkie Reed Park in Westbury starts at 6 p.m. is the festivities. The parade's at 5. So I have all my flyers in front of me. There's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, whatever you are interested in, call 311 or 516-869-6311 to get more information about that. Quickly, I also want to remind people there are tons of different parks. The Parks Department is still doing concerts and movies in the park, so you could certainly check out that schedule. And if I could find it, I'll be able to give it to you. So coming up July 23rd, so tomorrow, July 23rd, if you're listening to this live, is Disco Night Bee Gees and ABBA tribute at Tully Park. So you can check that out. That is free of charge, and that starts at 7:30 p.m. at Tully Park. So for more information, call 311.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I can't believe that's our show. So another terrific show, Kristina. Thank you so much for bringing in Don Olson, really a wealth of information. Of course, thank you, Otto, so much for joining us, and Kristina, great show, and Dan at WCWP.
And thank you.
88.1 FM, you're most welcome. We have a great show next week, and you were listening to Project Independence and You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Have a great weekend, all.
And stay cool, everyone.